How's it going?
Good. How are you, Kenny?
I'm good. Thank you so much for taking the time and being on the show. Truly appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So, what happened was I noticed you called. The number you dialed is my Skype number, and usually when someone calls, the number pops up on your computer screen, and for some reason, the number didn't pop up, but I did get a notification that you left a voice message. So I'm like, wait a minute, that's Laura. How the number?
Oh, yeah.
So
I like to keep anonymous, that's why.
yeah, there she go. Staying into character, I see. But thank you so much for your time. We'll go and get into it. What made you decide to, become a wrestler?
Well, I've been watching it since I was a kid. Always kind of was the youngest one out of a bunch of boys. Had a lot of cousins. Not afraid to say this now, but we had back in the day, you might remember that awesome little black box that gave you all those pay-per-views for free.
Yes.
So we would end up watching all the pay-per-views for wrestling, and just kind of really fell in love with the idea of there just being these epic battles. And, I didn't see a lot of women at that point in time because this was maybe around early to mid-'90s when I was pretty young starting to watch it. Got more into the Attitude Era, and then I saw, believe it or not, China, and I've seen her, laying these hits into these dudes, and I'm like, wow, she's fearless. And then, even go a little earlier, you see Alondra Blaze, and she had those massive kicks. And then you saw Bull Nakano, who was terrifying. I'm like, wow, these women can do it. I want to do that too. And got out of it, for a while, and then after college, ended up kind of re-evaluating it, looking into it, and be like, hey, you know what? I go to the gym every day. I work out. I like to play hard. I like to be smart. I like to be a storyteller. Why am I not doing this? And the rest was pretty much history from there.
I definitely want to talk about your name, Laura Loveless. Um, was that your idea? Was that a promoter's idea to call yourself that?
Okay, so I actually have a spinal tattoo, and it says Loveless going down my spine. And that was before I was ever a wrestler. So that pretty much was decided for me before even I got into wrestling. I was always Laura Loveless.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. I first heard of you through Girl Fight Wrestling, an all-woman wrestling promotion. I've been to one of their shows before, one in particular in Indiana, and they've doing shows in Ohio and Kentucky. They've done one in Tennessee and in Georgia. The show you're going to be a part of, that's going to be in Michigan, I believe.
Yep.
And that show is going to include Rosemary of Decay from Impact Wrestling.
Yes.
So let's talk about this event in particular. You talk about your role in the show you got coming up.
Well, actually, my match is against a young lady whom I've only done battle with once. From NWA, Midwest, great company. Her name is Miss Shayla Hyde. And she's going to be my opponent for Girl Fight coming Michigan, and I'm going to give it to her, and I'm going to win.
Right to the point. She's coming.
Yeah.
She's coming for you, Shyla. You better watch out.
Now, she hit me with some pretty bad moves last time, so I'm definitely going to return the favor. Don't you worry.
Ooh, okay. Shots fired. Ooh, yeah. So, how's it feel when you get a chance to compete in a all-woman show compared to being in a show when it's mostly men wrestling?
I feel really good about it. I feel that there's finally more of an emphasis in what women can do in the ring as athletes. I feel it's a great stage for us, and it's not powder puff. I mean, we'll knock the crap out of each other. We want to go high. We want to jump out. We want to get your attention. We want to tell a good story. We want to just essentially beat the crap out of each other, and then we want to win. There are a couple girls in that card that I know already and that I've already had some matches with. Jocelyn's one of them. She's very athletic. I like to work her again. I usually work her at NWA Midwest, a good opponent, but I'll still knock the crap out of her. And we got Maddie Max, who I actually just had my first match with at WBW. And great girl. But again, you know, she got the upper hand. I didn't have a lot of support out there. Didn't have a lot of fan backing. But you know what? That's fine. I'm gonna get back at Maddie. But no, getting back to the original question, it's a great platform for us. We like to show off what we can do, and sometimes those opportunities come far and few between, and I think it's great. I like the fact that they're branching out too. I hope there's a girl fight show in every state soon enough.
And, you know, shout out to Batman Pondo, who that's his company. And I want to thank you, sir, for finally bringing a girl fight to my neck of the woods in Kentucky. They got a show coming up in Louisville in November, and then they got one coming in Georgetown in December. So they are definitely, it started off being a tri-state event, and now they are expanding. So props to Girl Fight, and they definitely have my support for sure.
Yeah, definitely props to Pondo. Thank you again.
So that show is coming on Thursday, November 17th. It's going to be at Jersey's Taven, and I'm not even going to think about pronouncing the name of the city, but it's going to be at Michigan. You can go to the Facebook at Girl Fight Wrestling for more details. The tickets in advance are $10, and day of the show is $17. So you may want to take advantage of that $10 in advance, like right now. So, you know.
You really should. I totally endorse that. Absolutely. Take advantage of that $10 in advance.
And also including on the card, you mentioned Maddie and Jocelyn. Leah Vaughn, formerly known as Leah Vaughn Dutch, is also going to be there. Amazing Maria, one of my good friends, she's going to be there. You got Sue Young, and once again, Rosemary of DK from Impact Wrestling. So if you're near that state, go check it out. And it's the Thursday before Thanksgiving. So go, please, support women's wrestling. Show your support for Girl Fight. Now, for you, Laura, who do you consider, like every now and then, every athlete, whether it's a team sport or individual, they have that one rival that you face time and time again. There's someone that either gets in your way or someone that you persevere over. Who do you consider like some of your biggest rivals in your career?
That's a great question. For girls, because I do intergender too, and people forget that. I'm looking forward going head to head with Maddie again. I really am. She definitely has a presence, and it's good. But she has such a presence about herself and the way that she moves about the ring, it eggs me on to knock her off her high horse even more. The higher they go, the more I want to knock them down. And she's that kind of person that sort of pushes you that way. Now, in the male realm, I worked actually more probably men than I have women in my career thus far, but my career is very young. And I've worked a lot of really just superb athletes. And one in particular is one that helps me train now. His name is Chris LaRusso. I had a match with him in West Virginia Black Diamond promotion. And I'm not going to lie, he beat the crap out of me. It was brutal. I got a kick to the back of the head into the buckle. He threw me around. I'm surprised I didn't have to mop up any, chunks of hair afterwards, but I somehow, I beat him. I beat him with Tilt-A-Whirl DDT, which is one of my favorite moves, and the sense of accomplishment after that, he can bring out the best in any of his opponents, but, again, the better they are, the more I want to knock them down.
Awesome, and and props to you, and for wanting to go up against a man. It definitely
Well, I
brings.
don't care.
Oh, you
I
don't
don't
care.
care.
You so considering that you face more men than you face women, that's early in your career, it feels like the only time you can see intergender wrestling is mostly on the indies. Like we haven't seen much of intergender wrestling since China, back in her days when she went up against Chris Jericho. Has there ever been a time when you have had a match against a male and a male wrestler has been a little nervous of how to wrestle you, whether to hit you hard or whatever? Or have you ever had those those situations with a guy wrestling?
You know what? I honestly got to say, because I've trained with dudes too. I mean, there weren't a lot of opportunities for me to wrestle women when I first began, so I just wrestled guys. And if you're going to be if you're going to be a woman in this realm, you have to know what it is to take a hit from a guy. I mean, that's the best advice I could give you. You have to know what that full impact of that kind of force is going to feel like. You can't be afraid of it, and you have to be able to give it back just as hard or harder. And you know what? I appreciate the fact that I worked with guys, and it wasn't weird. And I never felt like they were really holding back. And actually, my trainer, Brandon Kay, would yell at them if they were trying to hold back. And he said, "No, you're going to hit her like anybody else in that ring." And more props to him. I'm glad that he told them to go full force, because I felt that really toughened me up. And it made me feel like, yeah, you know what? I can have a match against these dudes. This doesn't scare me. I don't care if they're 6 foot tall, 250 pounds. I'm going to try to knock you down.
That's definitely a great way to go as it pertains to the trainer. Definitely want to bring out the best out of everyone. And, it could be odd for some people, but, you know, I, I guess for a lot of women wrestlers, they don't go through that intergender match, intergender wrestling at times. It feels like they mostly go up against women. I guess whatever opportunity presents itself, you take it. But I don't know. It just feels like there's not many of intergender wrestling these days. I'm all for battle of the sexes. Bring it on. You know what I mean? So, it's just I guess it's something I like to see more of. Bring the best out of each other. And put out a very compelling effort. So,
No, I definitely agree. And actually, one of the first intergender matches I saw was with Heidi Lovelace. And, I mean, she can go. I wouldn't say I'd be timid in the ring with her, but, I mean, I'd be prepared. She has so much skill, and she brought it. She wasn't afraid. So that's what really inspired me to be like, no, I'm going to hit intergender too, full force. Why not?
oh, Heidi Lovelace is awesome.
Isn't she?
I've got a chance to see her wrestle a couple of times. She is so versatile. She just makes it so effortless, regardless of who she goes up against. And I heard she recently got a tryout with the WWE, so hopefully that works for her. And I mean, Lovelace versus Loveless, I like to see that match too. I'm just saying.
Me too.
So
I'm not saying it could be in the future, but, maybe if I worked extra hard and, I think that could possibly be maybe a future match. It would actually be, quite honestly, if you had those dream matches, I would like to have a match with Heidi Lovelace.
all
Again, I think she's one of those people that could just bring out the best in anybody.
all you promoters and bookers out there, please take that under consideration. At least for at least for 2017, because who knows, a lot of people already got things booked by now. But just in 2017, at least, just keep that in mind. So As we get to the last few months of 2016, what are some more goals you would like to set for yourself? More traveling, like more opportunities, championship opportunities, woman that you haven't faced before? Like, what are some of your goals you want to set for yourself?
Well, I want to start going more out of state. I'm here in Pittsburgh right now, and I've been going over to the NWA Midwest. I believe it was either my first or my second promotion out of state. And then there's Black Diamond in West Virginia, WBW, that's in the northern part of Ohio. I just seems like I'm migrating north. So then I got Michigan coming up for Girl Fight. I would really love to wrestle down south, to be honest with you. I love the South. I got to see an ROH show in Nashville, Tennessee. It was one of the greatest times ever. And I love good old Southern wrestling. I love Shane. So I would love to be down there. I would love to get to know someone more of the female talent down there, and just I want to start branching out. I love to travel, and I want to have matches. You know, I basically my goal is cover the North America, you know, pretty much as much as I can, and then maybe one day, if I'm lucky, if I train hard enough, I would love to see Japan.
Yeah, that's definitely a goal for a lot of people. Just to be there, just to witness the culture and everything, just to be in Japan. I mean, and the fan interaction just so interesting, so well behaved. It's like they're watching a movie theater or something. American fans, we'd be crazy and rowdy and whatnot, but Japanese people, you know, it's two different, it's two polar opposites. I'll just put it that way. Um,
No, it's very much. I'm not saying that the American audience doesn't consider what we do in art form.
mhm,
Sometimes by their reaction, you're not sure, but they get more involved with what you're doing. I'll
yeah,
put it to you that way. They love getting involved. I think that with the Japanese crowd, they like to just be very respect oriented and just observe from afar, and then they'll very politely clap, which is awesome when you see somebody take, you know, a spinning tombstone and they just like, oh, that was very beautifully done, and you're just like, oh wow, okay. No, I definitely want to see what that is all about. I want to experience kind of like the dojo atmosphere. And I mean, I heard some stories about people who went over there. They eat, breathe, sleep it. If you're a part of that culture, if you're a part of the wrestling culture over there, I mean, that is their life 24/7. So I think that'd be something that'd be really awesome to be a part of.
I definitely love Japan. I love the wrestling and its history there. It's just so much has happened there and for so many years, and you know it would be very cool for any wrestler, uh, in America especially, to witness it, just to be a part of it, even if it's for one night. You know, it's some extra special that's going on out there. Now, for you, Laura, um, and I almost forgot to ask this question, but there's a match coming up, obviously, and I've asked a couple of wrestlers about this. Charlotte and Sasha Banks are going up against each other for the Women's Championship in the first ever Women's Hell in a Cell match. It's very groundbreaking considering how far this revolution has come. What is your take on that match and that particular match? I mean, I'll bet you, what's your thoughts on those two facing each other inside the first ever women's Hell in a Cell match?
I would say first and foremost, I'm happy it's those two. I think they really earned it. I am very curious to see how far they're going to take it, because just knowing kind of the span of their talents and where they want to push themselves, in every match that I've seen them wrestle, they push themselves further and further. And a lot of the things they don't care if they're being risky at that point. They trust each other, or they trust that they know what they know, how to do things. They go hard, and I'm very curious about the extent they're gonna, really throw each other at that match. I'm very excited. I'm a little afraid because just knowing that this is the first ever and this is such an incredible opportunity. I am really kind of on the edge of my seat for this because I really want to see what they're going to do and how they're going to push each other over the edge. Hopefully not push each other over the edge, but push each other over the edge.
I'm just praying that no one even thinks about trying to pull Shane McMahon. That's they
Uh,
you know.
yeah, I mean, I think Shane would know better.
Yeah.
I think if he was to disrupt their match, I don't think he'd be breathing afterwards.
Yeah.
These ladies have really earned it. I'm really happy that people are taking this seriously and that, no, women can do Hell in a Cell too, and I am super excited to see what they do. I'm not going to lie. Again, I'm really kind of scared because Sasha will fly and Charlotte will go right after her, so I am very curious as well to see what they're going to pull out.
Yeah, I'm very excited as well. A part of me is pretty nervous of how much they are willing to put themselves through to make this the best match that they can put out. And for Sasha, there's been moments when I thought, man, she really could have really injured herself. Like I will never forget that match against Bayley at Brooklyn last year when Bayley put Sasha through a Hurricanrana and her head, the way that it landed, it just looked real bad. I'm like, she could have broke her neck from that.
Are you talking about the reverse Rana?
Or reverse Hurricanrana,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I was,
Yeah. No, I remember that too. And that,
yeah,
I mean, yeah, that looked pretty bad. I mean, it looked scary. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It looked just the tip of her head just grazed the mat. And that could have ended badly, I mean, a few inches to the left, basically. But she was all right, and she got back up there again, and she just did her thing. And, I mean, I think that's the most important part about all this, that you want to win. You show the world that you want to win. You show the world that this means more to you than anything else. And that's why I have such tremendous respect for both of these ladies and Bayley and anybody that's quite honestly in the WWE roster right now. They're doing a fantastic job. The way that they're not, I don't know what I can say on your show. I'm sorry. I should have asked you about that. I don't want to swear on your show.
no, it's okay.
But
Go ahead.
they're pussyfooting around. I'll put it to you that way. This is not powder puff. They go hard. And I'm really, really excited about what they're bringing out now. Even with Naomi, holy crap. Hiding the fact that she was such a tremendous athlete for so long really did her, in my opinion, a disservice because look at what she can do. And she could do it in, not even really even seemingly trying to.
Oh, yeah.
I love her I love Glow. I'm not going to lie. Glow is pretty awesome for me. And I would like to see, in the future too, Naomi get in there. And I think she could do Hell in a Cell. I think she could do a lot of really awesome things.
I definitely benefited from Naomi since she was a Funkadactyl, and just to see her evolution, and granted, with so much competition and the brand's been extended, there's going to be people that tend to get left out, and I feel like that's where Naomi is, even with her new look and everything. I love the glow. I love it so much that I brought me some LED light up shoes at a convention recently, and I'll be walking by and I'm got the lights and everything. Yes, there are some light up shoes, and just look around. It's a good look. Um, but before I let you go, Laura, and again I extremely appreciate having you on and for you to call in. I definitely appreciate it. Before I let you go, Why don't you go ahead and let people know about your upcoming shows other than Girl Fight, and also go bring up your social media, Twitter, Facebook, etc.
Okay. So my upcoming shows. Oh man, I got a pretty long list for all this stuff too. Well, this weekend I'm going to be at Mega, which is near Cleveland, and I'm going to be having a match, intergender tag, actually, against Miss Jocelyn and my now, I guess, Twitter war foe, Graham Wellington, and I'm going to beat his ass because he never shuts up. And that's going to be happening October 22nd. That's Mega Championship Wrestling Ohio. Then I have NWA Midwest, November 5th. Black Diamond, West Virginia, November 6th. Girl Fight, November 17th. WBW Wrestling Ohio, November 26th. Pro Wrestling Rampage will be my debut there on December 10th. And then back to Black Diamond, West Virginia, December 18th. And more to come.
I want to make a request to Girl Fight Wrestling since they are now doing shows in Kentucky. If you will be so kind to please book Laura Loveless to one of your shows, I truly appreciate it. Just a request, thank you. Uh, and go ahead and promote your social media links.
Oh, absolutely. The real Laura Loveless is on Twitter, and that is her name there. I also have an Instagram, which you can log on from my Facebook page. Facebook is just my name, Laura Loveless. You can find all of my dates and then some other fun stuff. I will be actually releasing some merch soon, so have fun with that. That should be within the next 2 to 3 weeks. And that will also be available through my Facebook page. I also have a website, but that's being a little bit remodeled right now. I'll be happy to release that a little bit later. And Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, anywhere you don't expect me to be, I'm probably going to be there.
Thank you so much for your time, Laura. Continued success, and hopefully one day I get to see you in person at a future event. But thank you for your time. Truly appreciate it.
Absolutely. I will love to come down to Kentucky and do some good Southern wrestling any day, anytime. And Kenny, thank you so much for having me on the show.
Truly appreciate it. And I love how you're Southern wrestling. I love that. I love that.
Wrestling.
You have a good night, Laura.
You too, Kenny. Thank you again.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
That was Laura Loveless joining